idea, but
because it is all about you. So, look, it says 8 people use this. Well, no shit. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think that's stupid.
give you feedback.
Right, and then it'll show you the site, like if somebody turned this in at that university or dumb, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we're live. Good.
So they call that plagiarism?
No, hers was not. Hers was only at 16%. So if you look at it, it's still green. Because the idea is that you're going to be quoting people. You know what I mean? So like you go in there, you give a quote. I should try to. So this, and it looks like you quoted it anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Boom. So you're good. As long as you put it in quotes, you're good to go. It knows. How do you find out what it shows you? I still think it's creepy that it can do this.
It's not showing up on my phone.
Oh, on live?
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. It's not the end of the world. Where do you have to run to turn it into?
Huh?
You got to go eat at the calf or turn it in or turn it in.
The calf is closed. They're closed.
Yeah, the calf open at like 4:30
How the hell are
again.
you supposed to eat?
It open at 4:30 again.
I'll be trying to get up, but I'll be tired.
So this is somebody who used it.
They never got a Chaz event at 4:30.
Yeah, I know. I'm putting on a tuxedo for that.
All I know is that the food better be good.
It better be so good that I spill it on my tuxedo and I have to be dry
Man.
cleaned again.
Because I don't want to go sit through that.
I know. Well, I hear you. So there is one that they got you from Britannica.com.
I'm about to get started.
Are you clicked in the right one, do you think? Is it the one that just went, doo-doo-doo? Like if you subscribe, it'll tell you when I'm live.
Oh, okay.
Here's one.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Do I have to comment on this to make sure you get my attendance?
If you, yeah, right.
Okay.
That's fine.
I'm sorry. You good.
Thank you, Dr. Trout.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, it'll go and show you every detail of like what you have and then make sure that you cite it properly. You know what I mean? So that way, it is a good mechanism to show how you quote things.
I'm gonna start doing this on my paper and make sure y'all think I'm good.
Right, yeah, well, just making sure that you've cited it and that
The
you
right
say, yeah. Yeah, and the key is if you use exact words, you put it in quotes. If you use like a statement of those words, you don't need the quotation marks, you just like cite Trout
What if we
2023.
forget? I'm gonna say, what if we forget this?
Oh,
So,
see, that's what she was asking. Is there a way that we can find it online? They're called like plagiarism checkers. And I think you're right. This one I have access to because I'm a teacher here, but there are plagiarism checkers. A lot of them will try to sell it to you, but there are free plagiarism checkers too. So you just search for like plagiarism checker on turnitin.com.
I remember in high school, my teacher thought I plagiarized. I'm like, bro, I barely even know how to
And they freak
write
you
a
out.
paper now.
Look at this now. They're starting to use
Everything is having AI
AI.
now.
Ooh,
That's-
that's crazy.
No, that's scary.
It is scary because like, yeah, the fact that you can
Because I'm about to say, because Snapchat just did that. I'm about to say, Snapchat got an AI. Like, they trying to sit there and chat with you.
like,
Like, bro,
how
I'm
do
not
they
about to sit there and chat with
know-
no robot.
How do they know AI writing detection capabilities are bad?
Man.
Like,
I'm not about to sit here and trust no robot.
it contains overall percentage of the prose sentences contain long form writing within the submitted document of Turnitin's model determined by the AI. Turnitin's AI writing detection model only highlights text that is likely to be generated by AI. This is to ensure students. That's what I want to know. How does it work? Paper submitted is first broken down into segments of text that are roughly a few hundred words, about 5 to 10 sentences. Those segments are then
I
overlapped.
feel like the robot gonna think everything is wrong.
Right. That's crazy though that they can detect it. And then the percentage, what does it mean? 98% confidence, okay. So, because they said, is it Chat GPT that you can type in a paper?
It's not, I keep seeing people say if you need a paper done, go there. But I feel like
Oh, you do?
everybody use it, so like then our teachers really gonna think we plagiarize. Because where they be getting our papers from?
Right. I don't understand. What is this?
I be seeing these little things all on TikTok on.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
About how to write your papers. It is
Yeah, but it's like,
creepy. So.
I don't trust it because it's like, where is they getting the papers from after they write it? So it's like,
right.
Then my teacher gonna be emailing me talk about why is your paper from here? I'm like, what? I thought I wrote that paper.
All right, let's see if I submit that. What? How did it do that? That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would just.
I need to go return these books. I need to do everything. What did it chat GPT? It's chat what? GPT?
Mm-hmm. Then you have to like create an account. This is where it becomes a pain. See.
You gotta pay for it?
That's what I'm saying. There's all kinds of, and I ain't paying for nothing.
It's about $7 per month.
Which I guess somebody could be desperate enough. They're like, all right, I need my paper written right now. They'll pay $7 just to get it.
Shoot, I write my own paper before I pay $7.
I will too. I mean, I painted my own deck because I didn't want to pay nothing.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, those are kind of the deals. I did want to finish up early enough just because I know we all have that Chaz thing. But the last pieces are.
Yes, and I got English at 4, and I don't know if you know about the.
I think we all have to go. Is it the dude with the gray hair?
No, my English teacher is an older black man. He be downstairs on the first floor.
You're right. I feel like he actually might not care about the
event. Yeah, probably. I emailed him, but he don't never check my emails unless it's me submitting my papers or something. So I'm gonna just go after I leave here because sometimes when I be leaving here, he be down there.
Because we're never supposed to have a class at 4. That's really funny. I used to, so I would, and I had
a
meeting. Well, and we always have that meeting at 4, so that way, that's smart. I guess he schedules his classes at 4 on purpose. I know who you're talking about.
So, I emailed him, but he ain't emailed me back, so I'm gonna go tell him.
I don't think he ever emails either. I know who you're talking about.
So. He don't even use D2L.
Nope. He's so old school.
He grade our stuff on pen and paper. I be like, oh my god.
Red ink and stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
And
okay.
And he write like a teacher. He write like he a doctor. And when we corrected my papers, I be like, bro, what does it say?
Right.
I be stressing.
Did you have any questions about the final or?
I did it.
Okay. So you've got your 4 major assignments in, and then you should be good to go. Like, my idea was to have her lead her presentation, which we filmed it a half an hour before class. So.
What was it on?
What's that?
What did she talk about?
Hers was on like personality disorders. Like you could be borderline personality disorder. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm. I did not know personality.
Right. And a lot of people have a lot of things that say it's usually you were in a traumatized relationship and that's what like kind of caused it. And what is BPD? Okay. Hey. So I know this is like a specific personality disorder, but a lot of people do ask and like.
I just didn't know so many though.
How many personality disorders there are?
I think it's like.
A lot.
Yeah.
You're right.
Hello. This is her.
When I heard the word, personality disorder, I was mortified. No. It's like, what's wrong with me? Why am I, why have I got like a bad personality? That's what I thought. Why have I got a bad personality? Where did I go wrong? One thing that goes with DBT is people think that you're never going to be able to live a normal, if you call it that, life.
Yeah.
And it's just, you get this diagnosis and it's
the
downhill. Yeah, it's the end of everything. And I mean, as you know, it's not, is it?
I think I first started with like problems when I was 14. I had some eating issues.
Yeah.
And I suppose at the time now I can reflect, I was confused because I was gay, but I didn't know what it was. And I'd also had a lot of trauma early in life. Again, I didn't connect the two. I started with that, eating issues, and then self-harming, but it all came to sort of a head when I was 18 and I took the first overdose.
Yeah.
And they taught me that when you have BPD, you feel emotions a lot more than other people, like
You're more
a lot
sensitive,
higher,
yeah, more sensitive to what people say and how you perceive things.
For the year, last year I was in a therapeutic community and received DBT. It was like a year-long program.
Yeah, and you completed it.
Yeah, I completed it. And it's changed everything. It has. Before I went in there, I was bouncing in and out of hospitals.
Yeah.
I was overdosing
Yeah,
every other day. I was self-harming. Loads, not eating properly, every behaviour you could use, I was using it. And then I went there. I wouldn't say DBT was really helpful. I wouldn't say every single bit of it was helpful for me, but I think certain bits were.
Yeah, I went into it, and I was sectioned in hospital and I had to drop out.
Yeah.
So I restarted it, but now, I don't know, I think all the skills, I don't know, I think you can apply it to everywhere.
Yeah, you can. I think a lot of it's invaluable.
Yeah.
Everyone can use it, can't they?
Everyone, yeah.
Do you experience voices?
Yeah, hallucinations, yeah. That's what I'm
It's only one thing.
For mindfulness. I think that's brilliant.
They're all on
Do that
YouTube.
all the time.
Yeah, even my sister uses mindfulness and she's not got any.
Yeah, I think it's like
She
the
finds
ultimate
it
thing,
helpful,
mindfulness for
Yeah,
you can use it for everything. It calms the situation, doesn't it?
it does. I get so caught up in thinking about things
Yeah.
I've got to do, getting absolutely worked up thinking about the future and
That's
not
it,
even
isn't it? You get the
there.
anxiety of the future, how are you going to deal with it?
Yeah.
And then you live in the past as well. I don't know about you, but with emotions, one thing that I stay really mindful of is them being, I don't know whether you were taught it, like a wave, it's a wave of emotion.
Yeah,
And you have to ride the wave.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
really
ride the
DBT term.
Yeah, until it peaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I keep playing that in my head.
Yeah, we got that said to us a lot in the
I think that really
community
helps.
group.
Yeah, I think that really helps when you're in a stressful situation, or if you've got an emotion that you don't really know how to deal with.
For the emotions of thinking I've felt this before and I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Challenging.
Yeah.
Challenging myths, emotion myths. Having a bath and using all your senses, like lavender oil, music. Music's massive for me, but I like dissolve into music. I don't know, exercise as well. Really into exercise.
Yeah, I use
That sort of channels a lot of emotion.
I have to say bath's my idea of a nightmare. I know it's always on people's lists, but I just can't stand
That's the first thing I think people get told to have a bath.
Yeah.
But
Everyone's different.
everyone's
aren't they?
different. Yeah, everyone has a different. You just have to apply it to your life, don't you?
Same with you with music,
Yeah.
exercise, which is a surprise for me because I wouldn't normally do it. Food I can use, but sometimes I might abuse that.
Yeah.
So, still a behaviour that kind of hangs around for me in probably, and stroking my dog, and I've got a kitten.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely covered in scratches. That's my kitten, not me.
Yeah, I've got a puppy and she's been an absolute brilliant distraction. She takes up so much energy and
They do keep you occupied. Don't they?
yeah, they do, but in a good way as well because you have to look after them. You can't you've got to think about them as well as yourself. So for the day and let the dog sort itself out.
Do you take
Medication? Yeah, I do take medication. Yeah.
Yes.
I've been really bad with it before, I'm not compliant with medication.
I've had periods like that, but I recognised I was just doing it to harm myself.
I was like that, also felt ashamed. I did feel really ashamed of
being on
medication, being on mental health medication. But I think as I've got better in my recovery, I can see that.
Yeah.
It's not about being ashamed because obviously everyone Everyone
People
has
have, it's like,
experiences.
if you've got
mental health.
diabetes, you take meds.
Exactly, that's what I've had to
Yeah.
understand, is that it's just the same as a physical illness.
Yeah,
It's just we need help as well. But I know that not everybody needs medication, but
I feel conscious that I'm on it and think, shouldn't be on this.
yeah, I do.
But if I'm
sometimes.
stable and I'm managing to go to college and
Yeah.
go to voluntary jobs,
You have to look past it, don't you?
yeah,
Not judge it.
not judge yourself. That's the
Not judge
hardest thing,
yourself.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I've learned in DBT, not judging yourself, especially about medication. My family have been absolutely amazing. I mean, it took a while, like, a diagnosis took a while to, so I didn't even understand what was going on and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But then I think if your family can work through it as well and be open, I don't know how I should do it if you don't have the support. I don't know how.
No.
But I think it's possible, especially with DBT skills. The further I've gone along, it's like, you know, I'm actually proud. I am proud because I know how strong it takes to be somebody with BPD. The skills we have to use every day, and it's not just one day a week; it's every single day. It is for me. And
Even when
we're not
just
just
sleep.
exactly. We're not just dealing with like just one problem. We're dealing with trauma that's happened in life, and it may not be just one trauma. It could be a lot of trauma. And then you've got, like you say, the symptoms of, you know, post-traumatic stress and sleep problems, depression. And so I think, you know,
hallucination.
yeah, I think the stigma that goes along with it is just, it's really outdated.
I did the same with you. I argued with it, and I don't know if I've got to pride yet, but I'm certainly not ashamed of it.
No, I'm not ashamed, definitely not.
It's kind of weird how they talk over each other. So that could be diagnosed as early as adolescence, and a lot of times it is mostly women, and then men can have the narcissism diagnosis. Finishing up with adolescence, these last few slides. So substance use is also something that comes up. You may have heard 6th grade now, 7th grade, people start smoking. I know.
Whenever they see you.
Yes, drinking, smoking, all that. Sometimes it's easier to get stuff to smoke than it is to get stuff to drink. And that was our case growing up. So after school programs, they had DARE. I don't know if they still have
Hello.
DARE.
I
Hi.
got it filled out. I brought it just for you.
From the stand for you.
Yes.
Yay. This is exciting.
Yes.
Where's that?
You got a pen? You got a pen?
I don't know.
Here you go. Oh.
Dang, did I miss that many? How do you miss all these calls? You ever wonder that?
When it don't ring for.
Yeah. Oh, you need me to sign?
Yeah, I wanted you
You
to
need
sign.
me to do the,
Yeah, I wanted you to do. Yeah, I wanted you to do this part.
the
Record.
Rex.
Yeah.
All right, I can do that. And then you're done?
Yeah, then I'm done. I filled out everything else. Like
Really?
my job, what I
Okay,
worked at.
okay,
I didn't volunteer work.
right.
And I just need this. I just needed you to fill out that.
And then you want to answer this form maybe on a separate.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll fill this out and then you just want to
Yeah.
scan it to me, or you want me to scan it?
I wanted you to scan it. Here you go.
So you're right, I do need that. Pen.
Oh, sorry. So you said I gotta answer the questions on the back.
Right, most people, and that's what they'll use on the interview. So you have these 4.
So I gotta answer those 4. So I can answer those with a separate paper.
Yeah, like a lot of people will type it up.
Okay, I'll type it up. Let me see your phone so I can take a picture. Cause ain't you gonna need that?
No, once I scan it,
Okay.
I'm done with it.
Okay, then you gonna give it back to me?
Yep,
So you gonna say it right now?
I can.
Okay.
But you're right, I do have to
Sign.
recommend you, and then professor.
Man, it feel great outside.
May the 4th. It's so hot, we have to put on a tuxedo.
When?
And like,
Oh yeah, it's a little thing today. Yeah. My sociology teacher going.
Yeah, made it.
Vitch, Vitch.
I ain't going to school hot for that.
Got his little Marvel, little tie.
Right.
Yeah, he's funny though. My favorite teacher. Who did your nails?
We're back on one.
Let me scan it.
Yeah, and then the 4 questions.
Because it is like, so you took all this.
Yeah, I took all
and
those.
then
Oh, those are the 4 questions.
That's
No. So
that's it, I think.
what?
Maybe you're right.
That's for transfer. No, this is the next page.
4 questions.
There you go, right there.
Discuss the major reason for your interest. And discuss fields of social work that interest you. So people will type that up. And
Okay.
then
People type that up and
on the interview, they bring it to us. So like,
Okay.
you come to me and Nikita, if you want to do it before the end of the year or at the beginning of next year.
the beginning of next year.
Is that better?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
that
better.
way you can
I have time to.
scan it.
Yeah.
So we'll scan this.
Oh, your YouTube channel. You finally got it to work.
I'm not blocked anymore because I turned on the. Remember, I showed something on.
Yeah.
Sudden. It was a video about the vaccine.
Yeah.
And they blocked me. Dang it! I wish this would scan better. It like scanned my hand and that one was stupid. Because what I do is I put this in a shared folder for me and Nikita,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you email me what you type up.
Okay.
I wish it scanned better. I'm really disappointed that it scanned. You were able to print it up.
Yeah, I was able to print it up. What's her name? She a child and family service teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, she has a working printer,
Yeah, downstairs.
and she knows that we're doing these things.
Yes.
She's like, "Oh, you're doing your application."
Karen Jordan Johnson.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Good. So I have now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it, unless if you got a box.
Yeah. Then I just gotta do the questions and then email.
Right. Email it to me and Ms. Jackson. We'll set up meet us in August.
Okay. Okay.
How do you spell your last name?
Hayden, Hayden. Okay. I'll see you later.
All right.
Okay. Come on, Bookie.
That was quicker than you thought it would be, wasn't it? Oh, okay. Well, do you have any questions about like application? I know. Don't stress about it.
When I finish my essay today, I'm gonna get it.
It is fun to get stuff like that done. I get it, but don't stress about it. There's nothing to be stressed about.
I can email it to you.
Yeah. Yes, all of it can be emailed. It's just, so this is how we stay accredited with Council on Social Work Ed. If we do an application, that's how we stay accredited. It almost seems like busy work, but it's not, I promise.
Not gonna look at it. It was interesting.
It's just like, why do you want to be a social worker? That's, if I was to say it in simple sentences, that's what it's all about. So, in fact, there is social work applicants. We've only had 2 so far. Isn't that funny?
Only 2 people did it.
This year. I mean, we've had them every year. We've had 2 interviews, so that's the catch. So now I'm going to create a new
What type
folder.
of questions are you asking in the interview? Like,
The same 4 that you see in that file. It's the exact same 4. Like, why did you want to be a social worker? I can open it up if you want me to. Folder. And then I have to type her name. Okay. That way, like, we have a file for everyone and know that it's done for you. That's so there we go. And I shared it with Nikita. So on hers, I can read it from here. The 4 questions are, the first one reads, why? Discuss the major reasons for your interest in the social work profession. 2, discuss particular aspects or field of social work that interest you the most. Include your discussion, your thoughts on what you would have to offer this field.
These sound like some questions I just did in my mock interview.
See, for the person you interviewed, who was the person? You
No, my English teacher, he asked us some, it was like, he had 18 questions.
Oh, he interviewed you.
Yeah. We did mock interviews on our.
Did you have to write it up?
We could have wrote 6 for extra credit. I did 6 extra credit, and then he asked us 6 of them. But that's because like we did our career paper. Like all our papers was about our career.
Yeah.
And then he asked us 6 questions about it.
Perfect. So you can use that for these if you wanted to, especially if you already wrote them up. So describe any experiences that you have had while working with people in which you used a skill that you deem to be related to the social work profession. And the last one is, what experiences have you had that made you feel that you could effectively provide services to individuals from diverse populations? Do they sound hard enough?
They sound like normal questions that you would get.
Good. Okay. And then here's the end of this slide. This could be true for college. And I noticed this when I worked 40 hours a week. I did really bad in college, but this slide says working 15 to 20 hours a week improves a student's self-esteem and school satisfaction. Working students' grade point averages are higher than those non-working peers. But more than 20 hours a week has a negative effect. So if you work too much, you can't do your schoolwork, let's say. But if you do work, it makes you stay organized, or like if you're an athlete or a cheer person or
I don't know. I feel like it all depends on the person.
right, that's true. This one also I found interesting because it says every year the US has the highest teen birth rate of all developed countries. Isn't that crazy?
Hey, I believe it.
I was gonna say, why do you think that is? That's
That's because kids just want to do things that people make sound normal.
right.
So it just be like,
Sex is everywhere. It is
yeah,
6%.
And it's like they do it unprotectedly too, like.
Right, yes, even though they got free condoms at the health center, they got everything. 6% of
And they don't be
women,
knowing all the problems that come with it.
what's that?
They don't be knowing all the things that come with it either.
Right, it
Till it's
is hard.
time.
I mean, it's hard enough for me at 45 dealing with this. 1/3 have a repeat pregnancy within 2 years. So 6% of women aged 15 to 19, and then that means 2%, 15 to 19, have 2 babies from 15 to 19. You ever seen somebody with 2 at either 15, 16, 17, or 18, or 19? 2 in a row,
Yes,
back to back within
within the year.
like
Not
a
waiting.
week.
Not waiting them 6 weeks.
How do they pay for that shit? That's what I would wonder.
I don't know. And then it'd be like, so your mama, first of all, I know your mama wasn't okay with the first one.
And now
So
you're
why
doing
would
it
you
again
go do it again?
because she's fighting with her mom
Because
every day.
because obviously your mama had no choice but to, accept it. And then you're gonna go do it again.
Were there any you went to high school with and you're like, why?
It's so many people that I went to high school and middle school with that's pregnant right now. I'm just like,
And how hard is it to do college if you have that?
that's what I'm saying, like it's hard to maintain it, period. Like
It
we
is.
young
It is.
and it's like and we still learning. So it's like now you gotta learn with the whole child. Like
Yes. How are you?
Good.
Good. Well, believe it or not, the U.S. teen pregnancy rate has been declining continuously over the past 20 years, but we're still the highest teen birth rate of all developed countries. It's 6% of women 15 to 19, and then 2% have a second baby within 2 years. So yeah, you're saying it could be right away. Because if you don't breastfeed, then you do start ovulating right away. I forgot about that. So if they're using formula, because it's hard as hell to breastfeed. And if they use formula, you ovulate right away. So you can have a baby in 9 months, right?
if you don't
Oh my
breastfeed,
God, we talking about babies.
Again, talking about babies.
So you saying if you don't breastfeed, you start being able to have kids quicker.
Right away, immediately. But when you're
Wait.
breastfeeding, it's the body's natural defense. Like it kind of
So you
kicks
saying breastfeeding is a protector?
natural birth control. It's supposed to be But I'll give this warning, my wife and I, she did not breastfeed as well as she could have, and we got pregnant within 6 weeks.
Dang, you didn't waste no time.
Nope. You're supposed to wait 6 weeks to have sex in the first place. So yes, it was that first month, I guess.
So you wasn't waiting.
No.
He said I waited 9 months, god dang it.
Right.
It's
Well,
time.
while you're pregnant, it's fine. You can't get pregnant twice. It's after you have the baby. If you don't breastfeed, you will ovulate probably.
So you're saying breastfeeding is a little protector.
It's
For
supposed to.
ovulator.
Some women that breastfeed for over a year in the old days, they want to get pregnant again for that whole year, so they'd space their babies 2 years apart. If you breastfeed well, but you gotta have a hungry little shit on you all day. If you just breastfeed little and then give them formula,
Even if you still pumping too, like pumping it.
you would have to pump as if you're feeding a full-grown baby like all the time. So yeah, I mean, but again, it's not foolproof. But yes, it's if you don't breastfeed at all, you're gonna get pregnant right away. So that's, it's easier to mix formula because when you breastfeed, you gotta hold them, you gotta get it latched.
You're trying to do stuff.
all
while you
kinds of
breastfeed.
shit. Right, you're trying to make dinner for yourself and you're hungry all the time when you breastfeed. Like she eats like 2 grown men lately.
Cause they taking, I'm about to say, cause they taking the food that she do got.
Right, yeah, so she eats well so that you burn like you run 5 miles a day. So when you're breastfeeding, it's like running 5 miles every day. That's how hard it is, yeah. But I think sometimes you hear that and you're like, sweet, I'll eat a dozen donuts. You should be healthy too. So,
The real question is, do the babies be tasting what you eat in their milk?
yeah. Yeah, because they can be allergic to crap too. So like some of them, you have to stop eating dairy because the baby's like all gassy from you eating dairy if they're allergic to dairy. So this one, she's breastfed the best with. And I don't think she's ovulated. It's been 4 months. Like you would know when you have your period, you know what I mean? It's been, but we're scared enough. We don't want to have another one in 9, well, plus 4.
I thought you wanted one more.
She wants one more, but she wants it spaced like we did. This is the 3rd one.
I would tell baby, hold on, can we take care of this one first?
Yeah, I'm 45 years old. I'm like walking around with crutches, like hobbling and shit, and paying for them. So it's a lot. So birth rates are higher among Hispanic and Black adolescents compared with white adolescents. That's the other stat that came from the book. A major risk factor is poverty. So we can ask you guys too. The top of the slide said the U.S. has the highest teen birth rates of all developed countries. Do you believe that, and why do you think that is? And she was sharing like some of the people she went to high school with. Some of them did have like at 16 or 17, and then within that next year had another freaking baby. Like holy shit. Which we barely can keep up with it at 42, 43, and 44. Paying for it, like taking them to doctors, feeding ourselves.
They don't even know what they're doing for it.
And you were saying even though we've got like free condoms at the health center, not everybody's going to grab a handful of those because they suck or they're too tight or they break or whatever it is. I mean, I get it. So, and then here's some more adolescent pregnancy. Infants. Consequences of early pregnancy is like short-term, low birth weight or infant mortality. The long-term is that they may have less education and behavioral emotional issues, teen pregnancy and poverty. The mother, short-term, might have birth complications or die, mortality. Long-term is like less education, low socioeconomic status, welfare, dependency, unstable relationships, and more. Like unintended births. The father, short-term, more involved than in the past, but tapers after the first year. So the dad's showing up, but after the first year, the kid starts walking. The dad's like, all right, see ya. Face hostility from mothers. That's what the research is saying. Because they may face hostility from mothers and not a decision maker. Long-term is low-paying jobs. Like if you have to watch them so many hours a week, it's hard to get a job 9 to 5 every day, if that makes sense. So that's what the research is showing. Any of that make sense to you guys? They're saying wait till you're done with your degree to start having kids, and that's, you know.
Wait till you get your life together.
Right, yeah, and I know it's hard because the older you get, the more you're like, cool, I want to have a kid. It's like, finish the degree. My wife has 99 hours right now, so she needs 21 more to graduate. 21. She can only take like 3 a semester because it's so fucking hard to take class. So it's just a good thing to learn
Yeah,
from.
try
You
to
know?
scoop in like 5 of them boys one semester. Speed it up a little bit.
Right, I know. Yeah, she might. Let's see here.
Like, all depending on how easy their class is gonna be though. For her.
She's already saying, what time do you leave today? We have that black tie event. It's going to be like,
4:30 to 7:30.
So sex ed, they're saying, is prevention of adolescent pregnancy. Do you think abstinence-only programs fail to educate sexually active students about responsibility? Because some states only teach abstinence only, like don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex, like, because they're afraid to teach if it's like about condoms, and they'll think people want to try them out at 14 or 15 and like have sex early. So then some are like, only teach abstinence only. Don't have sex, don't talk about
I
it.
mean, they need to just start teaching it.
Right.
They gonna hear about it either way.
What's that?
They gonna hear about it either way. Social media.
They are.
Other kids.
They are. Right. So that's very true. The last piece is drug and alcohol use. So it's just saying like majority of high school students report having consumed alcohol. So 2/3 of your classmates before you graduated. Binge drinking is decreasing though. It's only 17% for 12th graders. Maybe because of like DARE programs or whatever. 3 factors differentiating problem drinkers from other adolescents. The personal qualities, social environment. Like if mom and dad are drinking, they're okay with you drinking at 18, you're probably going to drink at 18. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it is. If mom and dad are like, no, we got alcoholism in the family, you might need to watch it. You can try it, but I would wait until you're of age. And then if you notice once you start, you can't stop and you black out every damn time and you never make it to work, you might have alcoholism. Other patterns of behavior. So maybe they have stress or low self-esteem, so they drink more to cover that up. Effective intervention programs like DARE does not have a sustained effect, is what research is saying. And then effective prevention is like strengthening protective factors while reducing risk factors that increase vulnerability to drug use. Anon's legal, right? You just get a freaking card. We'd like get locked up for weed and everything it puts into juvenile detention center. Now I think you just get a card. Are you able to get a card at 18 or you gotta wait till 21?
We'll get a fire.
You can. The hell? So any questions? That's pretty much it. That is all of your stuff. Should we see what they're talking about here? That's the dean and everybody. That's the provost.
You still like.
I'm more worried about the size of the file. So you see here, 4.1 megabyte. I've actually seen a 12 megabyte image, which would be like for a large outdoor billboard.
Sounds fun, doesn't it?
So the real question is, what they about to be doing at this Chinese event?
Feed you and give
That
awards,
Chinese-
hopefully. There is food. I gotta go put on a tuxedo right now.
Where is
I
it?
know. I saw they said food. They emailed us about a Chinese
At
event.
that fancy like building with the dude's big head in front of
You
the.
talking about, bro?
You know who I'm talking about? Donated by Bill Cosby. Didn't Bill Cosby pay for that? What's his name again? Roberson. Dr. Roberson. It's just a statue of a large head. And that's Dr. Roberson. I shouldn't say a large head, I should say a large statue of a head. And it's there and we'll feed you and we'll wear tuxedos and answer any questions about. Make sure, remember all your assignments, I open them up. Whatever you gotta turn in, turn it in.
Turn it in.
Please
Getting it all
turn-
done this weekend. 'Cause I ain't
Please.
going out.
Please.
Ain't nothing going
I will
on.
store your pen too. And then, yeah, that's it. Jordan's on here.
Thank you. Any other